Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Feed Me Friday, and I know you're tuning in and you're expecting to see a hot babe. Well, today I'm the hot babe. It's me filming Film Me Friday today for VX2TV. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon for notifications, and if you want to see some merch, we got some merch down below. You can click on the link, and yeah, let's get started. Alright guys, so today we're making a Pavlova cake. Picture right here, you can take a look. It's a beautiful cake, and you know what, here's the thing guys, it's super easy to make. So what I want to do is show you guys how to make this. It's only a couple ingredients, the stuff you see here on the table, and it's all easy to find. So if you have, you know, your girl staying over, or it's her birthday, you want to impress her, you want to make her something nice, Pavlova cake, you know what, it's an Australian thing. I see it in Europe a little bit, Australia, New Zealand, but you don't see it in North America where I'm from. So if you want to impress her by making her something that maybe she's never had before, Pavlova cake, and it's pretty much all sugar. So hopefully you're not diabetic. All right, so let's get started with the ingredients. We have eggs, we have icing sugar, we have lemons. There is fruit here for the top. This is strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. We have some vanilla extract, whipped cream, sugar, and vanilla extracts for the whipped cream. So basically this is the topping, this is the whipped cream, this is the cake right here, super simple. A little bit of corn flour. We're gonna start with this. First of all, we take 1 kilogram of icing sugar. Now here's the thing, this cake recipe is from the land down under. New Zealand and Australia are both debating on who created the recipe first. So I don't really know where it came from, but wow, it seems like a lot of sugar. But here's the thing, you know, everything in the land down under can kill you. Snakes can kill you, spiders can kill you, and their cakes can kill you, because this is a ton of sugar. Next, we have to add the egg whites. The recipe calls for 8 eggs, but I added more icing sugar than I should have, so I'm gonna put 10 egg whites. All right, guys, so we're gonna separate these eggs. It's always a good idea to do it in a bowl here so you don't make a mess. You can get a little bit of white in the yolk, but you can't get any of the yolk in the white. Come on out. Alright guys, so that's pretty simple. We just separated the whites from the yolk, so we're gonna need that with the icing sugar, and that's gonna pop in here like that. Looks delicious already, right? Alright guys, and next you put a little lemon zest in there. This is super easy to do. You just scrape off a little bit of the lemon skin, and we'll put a little bit of this in the whipped cream too. It gives it a nice fresh flavor. That way, you know, you don't feel like you're eating just sugar on top of sugar on top of sugar. So the next thing you're gonna need is a mixer. You can mix this by hand if you have a whisk and you have some time. You can get in there and really whisk it, but you know, to save you guys the visual dis-ease of looking at me whisking things for an hour, we're gonna do it with the stand mixer here. So we just lock that in. Pop this into here. So here's the trick: when you start the mixer on slow, otherwise you're going to get puffs of sugar flying everywhere. And then what you want to do is slowly increase it once all the ingredients are combined. And then when you're sure nothing's going to fly out, go to max. Because you probably can't hear me, you want to beat this until you get stiff peaks. So it's kind of like making a meringue. Well, this basically is a meringue. So once you have stiff peaks, I'll show you what that looks like when it's done, but it takes about 10 minutes at full power. Okay, so here we go. The meringue is done. Let's get this off of here. What you're looking for is peaks like this. Let's give this a try. This is pure sugar. Oh, that's nice. And this is pretty good. You could serve this to your girlfriend just like this. I'm sure she would be impressed. But we're gonna go all the way, and we're gonna do it properly. That would taste really good on French toast too. So now it's time for the last 2 ingredients. Let's get this out of here. We are done with this. So here we have 4 tablespoons of corn flour, pre-measured. I'm gonna pop that in there. And we want 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now we're just gonna eyeball this. Because as Polly says, you know, if it goes in gracefully, it comes out gracefully. And now, you don't want to mash this because you don't want to compress everything. You just want to fold everything in because you want this to stay nice and light and fluffy. Alright, so now we get our baking tray. So we're going to make these circles just a little bit smaller because I think the cake will flatten out a little too much here. So now what we do is we take the meringue here and we pop it onto the parchment paper, and we're going to try and build a circle based on the outline that we drew earlier, which has kind of disappeared now. Alright, so you just spread it out like this. It looks like a giant white cookie. And it's pretty easy to do here. So once you have this formed, you want to pop this into an oven that's 300 degrees for about 45 minutes. But keep an eye on it depending on your oven and how big it is and moisture in the air and all that science stuff. Once it starts to go a little bit golden, you want to pull it out. And the other trick is too, once it's ready, you let it cool inside the oven or a warm place, because if you pull it out of the oven and it's cold in your apartment, it's going to crack and crumble. So there we go. Let's do this. Alright guys, well the cake is in the oven for 45 minutes. We're gonna make the whipped cream and get ready for that. If only I can open this. You add the whipped cream to the bowl. The bowl's been chilling in the freezer. And then a little bit of vanilla extract. You just add it to taste, whatever you like. If you like it more vanilla-y, add more vanilla and a little bit of sugar. And don't be like me because I once made, actually a couple times I've made whipped cream. That should be enough. I've made whipped cream and I forgot to add the sugar and I was just churning butter pretty much. Okay, so this is locked in and we just go. And the thing with whipped cream, I don't know if you guys have made it before, the cream has to be cold. I keep it in the freezer. The bowl I put in the freezer as well, so everything's cold and it whips up pretty good. And what you want is you want stiff peaks, and I'll show you what that looks like. And if you go beyond that point, what you're doing is you're making buttermilk and then butter. So let's whip up this whipped cream. Alright guys, we're almost there. Let me just show you here quickly. So this is what we're getting. You see it's not quite stiff enough. It's okay, it's not bad, but it still needs a little bit more. Here's a little pro tip. You don't want to put too much sugar in your whipped cream because that cake is pretty much all icing sugar that's been baked. So your whipped cream can be a little bit mild on the sugar. Plus you're going to have the fruits on top, so not too much in here. Okay, so here we go. Whipped cream is done. And get this out of here. And now, let's get the star out of the show, out of the oven. Alright guys, it's been about 45 minutes. As you can see, they're slightly turning brown. I don't know if you can hear this, but they're hard, and you can see the marshmallow gooiness on there. So that's like, whoa. So that's pretty much like a giant marshmallow right now with a little lemony flavor. Now the trick is you gotta let it cool down in there for 30 minutes. Because if you pull it out here into this cold environment, I don't know, maybe you live in Florida and you're lucky and it's warm, but you can pull it out, leave it on your counter. But here we gotta let it cool in there for 30 minutes so it doesn't all crack and fall apart. So just let it be for a little bit. Okay guys, here's one of them. Here's two of them. And now we have the berries. Okay, so this one feels like it cracked on the bottom. This one feels more solid, so we're gonna go with this one on the bottom. It feels like it's cracking too. But so far, recipe's pretty easy. Nothing complicated here. Just a lot of mixing and baking. All right, so there's the base of the cake. Oh, it smells so good, guys. Okay, so now we need a spoon. And we're gonna put a little bit of whipped cream here between the layers. Oops. Cracked it. But that's okay, it's all gonna crack when you cut it with the knife anyway. So whipped cream is kind of like the glue. Like I said, if you make this for your girl, she's gonna go crazy for something like this. She might not like the calories, but you know, I'm sure she'll enjoy the cake. Okay, so now we're gonna take some raspberries. This is a very rustic cake, so you don't have to worry about making it too pretty. Nice dollop of whipped cream. Now this is gonna be the hard part now. We're gonna have to put the next piece on top. Oh well, okay, so we lost a little bit, but as you can see the inside, oh man, it's like liquidy marshmallow. We're gonna have to do a little surgery here, so we're gonna take the marshmallow, we're gonna shove it back in, and that's okay. Don't you worry, we're gonna fix this thing up. No problem. We got this. The good thing is, we can cover all our mistakes with whipped cream. I was just gonna put whipped cream on top, but now we're just gonna cover the whole thing up. And nobody's gonna know. Now I'm guessing it cracked because maybe I didn't bake it long enough. I've made this cake a few times and I always over bake it. It starts to really, it puffs out and then it cracks and falls apart. So this is the best I've ever made it so far. I guess my lifting technique, or maybe it wasn't cool enough. I don't know where I screwed up, but it should come off without falling apart. Just gonna cover it with cream. As you can tell, I'm not a professional cake decorator. I could qualify for a professional cake eater, but decorator, probably not. So there we go. We have a Pavlova cake. What do you guys think? If you want to make fun of my cake decorating skills in the comments, please do so. But what you want to do is let this sit in the fridge for a little bit and then cut into it and give it a try. We're going to let it sit for an hour and then we're going to come back and try it. So see you guys soon. Alright guys, so oops. Turns out Paul and I forgot to record the actual tasting of the cake. We had the camera set up, I guess we didn't hit the record button. We were just staring at the cake. And yeah, so there's no actual ending to this Feed Me Friday. I apologize for that. The cake was delicious. We ended up like, we enjoyed that for sure. But you know what, we're gonna do another thing. We have another idea for Feed Me Friday. We're gonna take a regular Pavlova cake and we're gonna make a vegan Pavlova cake, and we're gonna have a bake off and a taste off, and we're gonna see which one's better. So we're going to bring you us stuffing our faces with Pavlova at some point in time. So thanks for watching. Apologies for not recording the cutting and tasting of the cake, but we will make another video for that. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in another Friday for another Feed Me Friday. All right.